Okay, let's draw Oscar. I've got my pen tool and I'm just going to simulate, actually that's a little large, simulate his shape. So I'm going to keep this a little sketchy. Well, he's looking a little long here, but so you have the shape, then we've got the thighs, then we've got those, and we've got the need for the ellipse tool. So I'm just going to place that here, and we'll close this down. Actually, we're going to run this like this and make this smaller. So I'm going to enlarge that a little bit. I'm just going to give that a play there. And then there's another one that's a little wider. And I'm going to take this down this way. So like that. And then we'll drop on a wider part. So just going to do the stand. This one comes in a little bit, and I should also enlarge that because this has a bit of an elliptical distortion going. So I'll do that, and give me a base. Oops. Do a base. And the base is a little wider, so I'll go out a little wider, and I'll just go a little higher this way. Whoops. Whoa, what happened there? Let's try that again. So something like that. Let's close that, close the symmetry, grab this tool up here, and we'll just shrink the entire thing down a bit. And then I'll move it. Whoops. Let me just hit that. And then we'll move this up so it's a little higher. Then what we could do, I could just work from this, and I'll create a second layer, and I will then go in and pick a color. Let's pick an Oscar color, the base color. So we probably want to be a little more on the gold side, something along those lines as a base. It's always good to start with like a mid-level color for your base, because then you highlight from there. I'm going to make this a little oranger. You highlight and low light from that point, if that's a way to say it. So then we'll just use the same symmetry tool and come back in here and fill this guy in. And there is a portion of the top half that's colored, and everything else in between. Oh, I didn't use the symmetry tool, did I? Which I should have done. I'll turn that back on. Oh, can't. Hold on. See, this is part of the problem. If I want to go back to the symmetry, I can't, unless there's something I'm missing. So just color him in by hand and look at the proportions again. And I'd say he's got kind of that shape going, right? Just reduce the tool down a little bit, capture some of the... I'm going to use my straight constraint tool, and we're going to put some... Let's take that way down. Use my straight constraint tool and take off some of this color because I can't see it. So I'm just going to flip this. I'm going to move this line work up to the top. Make sure to go back and work on the lower level. So now we can see what we're doing. Paintbrush. And I'm going to come back in here and paint that. So that's going to be our our gold piece, and then this will be the darker section. So I'm going to start. I'm going to simulate that, and I'm going to use my straight tool, my straight constraint tool. On the Cintiq it's real nice because it's right on the buttons are right on the Cintiq tablet itself. And then this takes a little turn that way, and then it comes down. Takes a little turn, comes down, and I'm just going to freehand this. And I'm going to enlarge. Okay, so we've got a little color. Now what I'll do is take the eraser tool and go back in and trim up what I want to trim up. And I actually think if I turn this off, I can get a little better sense of what I want to change. And that looks pretty good. So I'm going to add another layer. I'm actually going to add it to the in between everything else so I could still see some of the line work. And then what we could do is go back using the the color tool. Let me see where that is. Interesting. Okay, so the color puck. There's our pen tool, sorry. Let's bring that down here. So did you see what I did? You double click the pen, the puck. I'm sorry. Double click the puck and you'll get the eyedropper tool. And then I just clicked on, don't even know if you need to be on this layer. Let's say we're on this layer and I tap the tool. Yeah, it actually changes it right through the layer. That's pretty cool. But you have to be careful. So let's go back into this color, and if you remember, ouch, I didn't want to do that. Let's start with there again, hold once and drag down, and you're going to change the value. And once you do that, you could go in here and start to add your color. Some of the colors that you're going to use for the reflections. And remember, if you use your brush, what's nice about this is you could just paint with these colors. Look at the shapes on the actual image, that's all I'm doing. And I'm just mimicking those. And in some cases you need to change size. And one of the things that we do, go down here, you'll see the feet, and there's a little bit of a step there. And we also have some color going across there and in through here, actually in through here. Remember that this is on an elliptical shape. Now I'm also going to go back in here and I'm going to double tap or tap and get the darker component, and I'm going to darken it even more, and I'm going to come into here and start to highlight some of these areas. I'm going to put a little bit of a reflection here. Again, this is all freehand, right? Freehand, and just following what they are suggesting in the image that we're looking at. So you can certainly mix this up a little bit. You could change the base a little bit, but you go ahead in, and if we lighten this, we could start to highlight some areas that need highlighting. Okay, so you start to see, going to work back on this portion and go a little lighter, you can start to see how the shape starts to take shape. Again, it's not going to be perfect, but it'll be close enough to where your parents will probably want to frame it and hang it in their home. So anyway, let's see. Let's take that off. I'm going to go back in and do a little more erasing on this color layer because these legs are a little heavy. So we're going to clean that up. And again, if you were diligent enough to maintain your symmetry, you wouldn't have to do what I'm doing. You could capture both sides at the same time. So you can see that this is starting to play itself out. So let's work from here and see how you do.